Hello, friends and neighbors. Stevie Coyle here. Mighty Fine Guitars, Lafayette, California. Friday noontime webcast. You know the drill, probably. First thing I always do is check and make sure that things are working. Let me know if you can hear everything. Hello, hello. I'll be playing a guitar momentarily, which well, here we are. Are we happening? Indeed, another exciting start to a Friday noontime webcast. Me and my Mr. Showbiz pose. It's the one I use when I'm playing guitar. The chicks go wild. Well, I have one guitar to show you today. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Sit up front. It's a 1936 Dobro, but not that kind of Dobro. You might be thinking of the lap-style square neck Dobro. This is by the Dobro brothers. A Dobro, but it's a round neck, played Spanish style, as they call it, where you play it like we play it. And here it is. Single cone resonator. I know I promised you. I mentioned last week. I didn't promise anything. But I mentioned last week that we'd probably be seeing this week a McPherson carbon fiber cutaway dreadnought. It sold. It is gone. It is no longer here. I'm so sorry. I was looking forward to showing you that guitar because it was super cool and a great value as well. But somebody snapped it up, and who can blame them? This one just came in. So I've done a little bit of research on it. But boy, you could research for hours and days and weeks on the Byzantine history of the Dobro brothers, the Dobro and National company, bouncing back and forth, and this person going there and that person going there, and I quit, and you can't quit, I fired you, The whole schmear, it was quite a saga, which I don't know. I'd have to look it up myself. But what I can tell you is this one is from 1936. It is. And in fact, this guitar was in here a few years ago. And then a gentleman decided, you know what? He's getting himself a different National guitar that's come through here. This is a 1936 Dobro, serial number 7072. So those of you that have the big giant National Dobro book on Resonator guitars, you can look it up. Yeah, we think it's a model 37. It looks like one of those with the two little ports and the single resonator. Resonators, some of you already know this kind of stuff. But a resonator guitar, this is kind of what amplification technology was like in the 1930s before electricity really took over and guitars were amplified by amplifiers. The idea here is this spun metal cone in here on which the bridge sits makes your guitar really loud. And this was so that, you could play on street corners, but also so you stood a chance in big jazz bands, that had like horns and drums and stuff. These were favored by street musicians because they were really loud and people across the street could hear you and come over and throw money in your hat. I think the kind of cool feature about this one is it has plenty of clank from having the resonator in there. But it's a wooden body guitar. There it is, mahogany. It's a wooden body guitar, so it's got some woodiness to it too. And setup-wise, it's kind of cool because it's a little higher than a fingerstyle would typically like it, but that's so that you can do slidey stuff on it as well. The string set is particular as well. The gentleman that currently owns this guitar says it currently has John Pierce aluminum wound strings, which is a new one on me. I haven't played aluminum wound strings before. These are 13 to 57. and used primarily for playing slide. So here it is, 1936 Dobro. Let me see who's here. How rude I am. Hello, all you people. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see if we got stuff happening. Looks like it. Very good. Right. Hey, Espo. Aloha. Very good. My old pal Jim Esposito. What a fine fellow. And a fine guitarist as well. Jump on over to his Facebook wall, as we used to call it, us oldsters, and see what he's up to musically. He's got all kinds of cool solo acoustic guitar stuff going on there in multiple tunings. Jim Esposito, you can't go wrong. Audio is loud and clear, as I always want to know. Thank you, Daria. Hey there, John Reynolds. Very good. And of course, folks, feel free to pass this along, to hit that share button and send this along to people you think might enjoy it either now or later, because these things stay up. Now, the thing is with these Facebook videos, they used to stay up forever. But along about June or July, I've seen both reports from Meta. No longer, you'll be able to leave these posts up for 1 month. So I'll make an effort to go back and take all of the posts that are currently living only on Facebook and drag them all over to YouTube. Particularly the ones for the guitars that haven't sold yet, of course. It always takes me a few minutes to get used to this thing. This must have a name, and I don't know what it is, but it's the thing that keeps your hand from banging into the biscuit there. And takes a little getting used to. A whole different set of overtones from what I'm accustomed to on any kind of guitar. It just does different things. And you know, I really couldn't tell you what's new and what ain't on this guitar. I can tell you the tuners are original. The tuner buttons are not original. I suspect that the cone has been replaced, but we don't know. This is one of those guitars that came in and the owner said, I just bought it from a guy. I don't know what the story is on it. I don't know what's new and what ain't. But it's in great shape. Bound fingerboard. So this is slightly upscale. Bound body. The celluloid is all in good shape. I suspect the cover is new as well, or else it's just really shiny. It's been buffed up. But we think this is a Model 37. Oh, it's a spider. It's a spider down there. And it's Dobro, which has become a generic term for a lap-style slide-played instrument. But we don't do that anymore. We don't say Dobro anymore. We say resonator guitar or Rezo. Cool, you got clank and you got wood. And I wish I played slide in, well, you know what, let me see, do I have one handy here? 2 seconds, pardon me. I haven't even tried it out slide-wise. It's got that old style gear ratio. It's like 1-to-1. And here's the thing. For those of you that play in G tuning, you probably already know this. But those of you just getting into G tuning, open G, D, G, D, GBD, there's something about the human ear that is not terribly scientific. Way back when, they carved up the octave into 12 equal pieces and just said, let's use that. Let's use that as the standard for the distances between the notes. Let's make them all equal temperament. The ear said, yeah, okay, I can tolerate that, but if I can get it, and you can get it on fiddles and violins, both, and cellos and basses and things that don't have frets, you can set that 3 interval, the do, re, mi, 1, 2, 3. Speaking of which, Julie Andrews, thank you very much for do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, but what the hell does that mean? If you say to yourself instead 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you have just said something useful as opposed to something completely arbitrary and abstract. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Instead of that, sing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because then you have sung the names of those intervals. I tell you that so I can tell you this, that the ear is not scientific for some reason. It wants to hear a 3 interval, if it can get it, flat, by about 10 cents. It's quite a lot. So if you're swinging into G tuning, your tuner may say you should be there. Your ear is going to say it's going to be there. So satisfy your ear. Kind of overshot it there. It's set up really nice for a slide. This is a really good kind of crossover for playing Spanish style, regular old finger style, left-hand finger style, and slidey style. I'm not kind of railroading. I'm not doing that along the side. Turn up the lights in this place. Well, anyway, you get the picture. So this is kind of a great sort of all-purpose, I almost said national, see? Dobro guitar. National has become a term like Kleenex and Xerox and Band-Aid, kind of a generic term for either a single cone or multi-cone resonator guitar. Turn up the lights. Hey, you. Oh, it's fun to play. Song, I should learn it. get the picture. 1936 Dobro, round neck. It also has a Shatton pickup in it, because it's not loud enough as it is. It's got a pickup in it. It's got the Shatton NR2 STD. STD. Must mean standard. Couldn't mean, And again, with John Pierce aluminum wound strings. And that's pretty cool. I've never messed with aluminum strings. I got to go look that up. Well, let me check and see if there are any questions or comments that need addressing right away. Oh, it's so dark in here. But let's see you play a square neck dobro. Spanish style, Luke? Love the intonation reference. Major thirds are sharp and minor thirds are flat in ET. I think you can fix both at once. Oh, I'm going to have to check this out. Fix both at once. You can. The ear wants to hear threes a little bit flat, and if it can get it, fives a little bit sharp. Music way back when, it would say this is a minuet for a pianoforte in D. They didn't just mean the key of D. They meant a pianoforte tuned to D that would sound great in the key of D and B minor, but not so great in other keys. So what we have now, equal temperament. Take my word for it. Don't experiment with this. I did, and I still regret it. The ear wants to hear what it wants to hear, but it can get accustomed. And of course we do. We have all gotten accustomed to equal temperament, which is a big compromise, but it's a worthy compromise. So, David Hood, hi, nice to see you. Very good. Dr. Joel, hello there. Very good. Thank you, Brandon. That's exactly right. Slip sliding, that's right. And, the shape of the neck, Daria, it's very roundy. It's a full-on kind of a closed C. It's big and roundy, you bet. It's probably similar to the ones you've had before because this is very standard feeling. 30s resonator neck. There's a tiny bit of V to it, a little bit of pointiness at the end, but it's mostly C-shaped. Good question. What a savvy crowd I draw here. Good for me. Price this right at $2,000. Seems to be kind of the going rate for these things. And this one is in great shape. Plays great. Is a great play it both Spanish style and with a slide. It's set up really well. And I'm surprised and delighted by these aluminum wound strings. They've got kind of a mellower sort of sound, I think. It's really hard to tell on resonator guitars because they're so bright and brassy and forward. It's a little hard to tell without playing them side by side. And that's the thing about changing strings on a particular guitar. You'll think you remember what it sounded like with the first set of strings on it. By the time you've got it unwound and rewound with the new strings, restrung with the new strings, your ear has forgotten altogether what it sounded like before, pretty much. You can record it, and that helps. But it's a really tough experiment. This sounds really good. It's got some of the clankiness knocked off the top. Still plenty of treble. And it's very singy. It's got a lot of sing to it. Instead of zing, I'd say it's got sing, if that makes any sense at all. Talking about sound is so hard. A buddy of mine said once, there are two terms that refer natively to sound, louder and softer. And everything else is an analogy, a metaphor, a simile, a comparison of something, and I think that's about right. I have spoken. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. Who knows what's going to walk in the door, and I can show you next week. This was a 1936 Dobro, Model 37. Asking $2,000. Spread the word. Do feel free to share this video. And like I say, this is going to be, like I always say, I do this live to Facebook, then I bounce it over to the Mighty Fine Guitars Facebook page, then to Instagram, and then finally over to YouTube, where there's a whole stack of these going back quite a ways. And I'll be going back and scooping up the ones that I did for Facebook but hadn't yet put on YouTube. I'll be putting those on YouTube as well. Phew, I got my work cut out for me. So stay tuned. Don't stay tuned until next week, but tune in again next week. Great to see everybody. See you down the road. Go Broncos.